Welcome in, folks. It's Gordo here from Gordos Games. Yes, you know the face, you know the place. It's that time again. It's Gordos Games time, where we do all sorts of shenanigans. So, as I mentioned previously, this channel itself is kind of having a refresh. We have an established channel already, which we kind of use, are now using for our VODs, so for all of our speedruns, because we do quite a lot of those. And I appreciate not everyone wants to get a ping for every single one of those. So, we are looking at that as our new foundation, should I say. The video today is to kind of touch on a topic that, for the most part, is what the channel's really about. So feel free to ask questions in the comments and I'll respond to them best I can. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so you know when this content goes live for you. And don't forget to get involved in the topics, alright? If it's something you're interested in or you want to learn more about, feel free to ask. We're open book. We do stream across on Twitch 5 days a week, mostly, sometimes 7, but the schedule is flexible. Let's just go with that sense. So, what are we going to talk today about? First thing first is what got you into speedrunning. That's our first topic, alright? This is gonna be split into segments as we go along, and you'll have some of the details shown on the screen. I will go through some details, a few of the clips as to some of the highlights and low points of speedrunning. But I guess the big question for that I get asked a few times is like, why do I do it? Realistically, for me, I've always played games, but it got to a point which I think we all get to, whereas it just we just didn't enjoy it as much. You know, like, I enjoy games, that's never stopped, but I just couldn't, I couldn't sit there and play a single player game and kind of lock into it and have that focus that I typically would have, which kind of left it feeling a little bit empty. I played TCGs, like my other channel that we just moved on from was originally established from TCGs, so we started streaming along those kind of things there, but we got into speedrunning about a year ago. Overall. Now, honestly, the context of speedrunning I thought was nothing more than ignoring the true aspect of a game. So, some glitches, some out of bounds, just not taking the time to appreciate the game, and that was my closed-minded thoughts on it. I hadn't looked into it before, it was just, that's what I thought. But, but I decided to try it, and I enjoyed the previous, sentiment of, ignoring the game was not the case. A speedrunner not only spends more time than a casual player, but realistically they spend a lot more time. That's one thing I did notice. Because they'll play it a couple of times or play it one time, but a speedrunner will spend 1,000 hours doing the most minuscule things over and over again, depending on what kind of speedrunner you are. That's also another thing we'll look to cover. But the level of commitment is just different, and it gives you a chance to experience the game in a completely different fashion. That for me was the part that kind of drew me into it overall, and it allowed me to revitalize some of the older games that I played, and I was like, you know what, maybe this would be a good speedrun. Maybe that's what I can get into. Let's run with this. And for the last year, I've been speedrunning, and we will cover off the topic of the different types of speedrunners, right? Because there are different ones, right? But I would call myself. I'm just gonna call myself a Gordo. I don't know what the hell I am. I'm the epitome against the rule. All right. But let's go on to the topic of the different speedrunners. All right. So overall, I put it down to I think 3 overall, which I thought was generally the consensus for it. Now there are obviously going to be exceptions to the rules at any point, but I guess the first question we ask is, can anyone be a speedrunner? Yes, of course. At the end of the day, speedrunning is defined as someone finishing a game as quick as possible in one sitting. Simple as that. You can get segmented runs as well. That's also a thing. And for as long as you're using the official board rules, then yeah, you can submit a speedrun. Absolutely. No one's saying you can't at all. You can even make your own up, even if there's not a board for it, you can make your own up. That's the whole prospect to it. Speedrun is just a challenge going fast, effectively. So, the big thing that kind of may put people off is the aspect of putting out competitive times early on. Now, this comes down to your own personal choices and how you as an individual would decide to tackle that. Because, for instance, if you're one of those who hold yourself to a good standard, say you're a really good gamer, and you know that's the kind of thing you want to portray, then you may be a little bit more harsh on yourself and say, well, I can't submit. That's just not, you know, it's terrible time compared to everything else on the table, and that is perfectly fine. In those instances, there, I would consider you to be what I refer to as a revised and practice runner, right? You'll have a certain pride or a level that you want to attain when you're doing the runs, and that's just it. You know, you won't just submit absolutely anything. It'll be a case of if it's at your suitable point and you feel like you've done enough for it, that'll be that's the kind of level you want to achieve overall, which means you will spend time revising your runs, practicing offline. You know, if you decide to stream it. Not everybody streams these things, but you know, the thought is there. You know, you'll take that time to study runs, read guides, and you'll put a lot of general effort in to make sure that you aren't just sending repeat runs. You're aiming to hit a good target straight off the bat and then look to improve from there. Now, alongside that, there are two other ones, and I feel like there's more, but these are the ones I've come up with so far. You have your blind runners, those who just send it. They'll just go ahead, see a game, like, you know what, I'll run that, and they'll just send out an attempt for it. Is there a point where they may do some look into it? They may look at it to see how long it is, or they may generally pick up a few little like a guide and that to follow with it, but they'll just run it. I fall into this category a little bit because I tend to just think, why not, and just go with it, because sometimes I like to just experience new games to see if I like the run. And I think that's where blind runs come into it, and they're an iffy subject because some will avoid them with a passion, because, like, for example, revised and practice runners will avoid them because they're not likely to achieve the same output they'd like if they took the time to learn it, and that might not kind of match with their kind of vibe and their kind of caliber of work they want to put out there. But yeah, blind runs are a bit of a YOLO. Just kind of send it, see what you get, and then, you know, you can make your justification there afterwards if you want to run it again or not. Kind of aspects. Then you have, I'm gonna call you casual runners, right? The blind runs and casual runners I do define as different, because blind runs is literally just, you know, YOLO, go for whatever. Casual runners are still looking to do what a revised and practice runner would do, but, you know, they may not be as locked into a game. So, like, they may study a few pieces here and there, they may watch a few bits of information, but they'll most likely, and this is, I think, where I would fit into it mainly, will learn by doing. They'll just send a run and then generally improve as they go along overall, just taking the time to kind of get the feel for it more so. The reason I say those three is because they all have a different precedence of what kind of things they're going to look to do. A blind runner will generally run a large category of different games until they decide they want to move into that category of being, let's say, a casual runner, or even a revised and practiced, if that's the thing they want to do. They may find the one that snags them. A casual runner, again, may dabble in blind runs, but they also are more likely to move into some stage being a revised and practice runner, because they may, again, find that one that grabs them. Because the thing with speedrunning is, most get into it for a nostalgia feel or a game that they really enjoy, and they want to spend the time to learn and understand it and do so much more with it. So just taking the time just to play through it repeatedly, learn all the different aspects of the game, find ways to, you know, cheese or speed up areas that you would have thought casually you wouldn't do. Or, you know, you'll have also those who are glitch hunters, those who play the games meticulously to try and find out those exploits that other runners can use. Because there's not only just being a speedrunner, there is a couple of other things that also fall into it as well. You can be somebody that enjoys routing a game. That is somebody who will take the time to play through the game as much. They may not want to do runs for it as much, but they may actually like to spend the time working out the different things to make the game work more fluently, which then they put into guides and that, which then assists other speedrunners. They may use it themselves, they may not, but you have those who actually just want to emphasize that they enjoy just the routing process, figuring out the best methods, the strategies that go into it, and everything like that. So there's a lot of things that go into speedrunning, believe it or not. But yes, this is our part 1 segment of speedrunning. Alright, we're going to do this in a couple of segments here. If you do have any questions about anything we've gone over today, feel free to leave me a comment down below. Like I said, this is all based on my opinion. I am not a professional here, alright? There is nothing that says I am the bee's knees when it comes to speedrunning at all. I just enjoy what I do. There's one fundamental for me when it comes to a speedrun is that I have to enjoy it, alright? The day I stop enjoying doing what I'm doing, then I'll quit speedrunning. It's as simple as that. Like, video games are an aspect where we enjoy gaming. So why would I get to the point where it becomes like a job? But that's me. And every person is different. So do me a favour, in the comments, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask some questions. But if you can leave a comment with a game that got you into speedrunning, if you're a speedrunner, or a game that's you're thinking of getting into speedrunning with, leave a comment down leave a comment down below so we can talk about it. And like I said, details for all these will be on the description as well. Feel free to stop by live over on Twitch if you do want to talk more. We do answer questions live, so we do a little bit of chit chatting here and there as we go along. As I said, I'm quite a casual runner, so I'm a casual runner that does too much, let's just put it that way. So feel free to ask questions whilst I'm streaming, whilst I'm doing runs. I will most likely to spend the time to just answer them whilst throwing a run. Because, yeah, why not? Why not? But until next time, folks, I'll say ciao for now from Gordos Games. Peace out.